If you want to know the direction of the jobs market, pay attention to the black unemployment numbers. That's not my guidance. That's the guidance from economists and experts who know much more about this than I. But let me explain. Right now, the U.S. unemployment rate is at 4.3%. We just learned that very few jobs were added in August, about 22,000. That's not good. If you were to describe this via text, you send a red alarm emoji. Now, for black workers, the data is worse. For now, another month, the unemployment rate is going up. It's now 7.5%. That's the highest it's been since October of 2021. And it's a number we've been watching ever since it was 6.8% in June. It's two alarm emojis. You dig even deeper, and you'll find that black women are disproportionately struggling right now. The jobless rate for black women is at 6.7%. The last time it was that high, September of 2021, back during the pandemic. Add one more red alarm emoji. Why is this happening? Economists have told us that when we see the unemployment rate going up for black people, it's a sign that it could soon go up for all people. And as our CNN business team explains, black workers are disproportionately employed in frontline and lower wage industries as well as the government workforce. So what comes for black people first often comes for everyone. And you know, those good government jobs have been a tool for black people to build stable livelihoods, especially for black women. But the federal workforce has been a target of this administration, along with immigrants and diversity initiatives. We have a lot to talk about. So joining me this morning, LaTosha Brown, co-founder of Black Voters Matter Fund, Stephanie Donegan, a former Republican candidate for the Georgia Senate.
contractions, prior to giving birth, those contractions get worse and worse, right, until the baby is delivered. You see? So this is just that, those birth pains, right? That's cracking these women, on top of their head, all right? You would think they would get a clue, you know what I'm saying? But see, our women have taken on one of the strongest characteristics of the so-called white man, and that's pride. Right? Our women of the nations, they have a very proud, haughty spirit. As the saying go, they can do all bad by themselves. Right? But shit, even if you're doing bad with the Israelite man, hey, the scriptures also say, hey, basically, two is better than one. I believe that's Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter. It's quoting a lot of scriptures right now as this is in transit. But yeah, man. At least you have a mate in the form of a man, not a woman, right? Because Heavenly Father ain't with that either. Women being with women, nor men being with men. That's out of order. That's chaos. And that equals death, right? At the end of the day. But you were set up, all right, to serve the man, right? So let's see. Like I said, first of all, this is an indicator, all right, of Babylon falling. Scriptures, let you know how to measure the times. Measure the times by way of prophecy. Alright? So it was prophesied that America, aka Babylon, would fall. Just real quick, this is Jeremiah 51. In fact, I'll start at verse 7. It says, Babylon, again, which is America, alright? Babylon meaning what? The land of confusion. And that's definitely this place. Definitely America without a shadow of a doubt. But Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, which the wine in this verse is referring to different philosophies, different walks of life, different ways, of thinking, different lifestyles. Again, philosophies, right? Which the philosophies that's pushed here in America is what? Democracy, right? The freedom of religion, right? Feminism, right? Christianity, Moism, right? And alphabet lifestyle, right? Those are just some different philosophies of America. They are all proven to not work. They don't work. Alright? But anyway, it says, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Right? Literally upset because they figured out they've been duped. Alright? America's not all what they thought it was cracked up to be. And then also mad in the sense that the other nations have lost their mind. Alright? When you look at a Moabite in America, they are, right, they pale in comparison of their true heritage. You know what I'm saying? Moab, which are the so-called Chinese, right? They over here wearing suits. Or if they're not wearing suits, they following Jake by, so-called, urban wear or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like they're nothing like, their Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her. Balm is basically an agent that you would use to heal, a wound. You see, he said, if so, she may be healed. You would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, God, because this place is messed up beyond belief. It's through, right? All due to the Heavenly Father. It says, forsake her, meaning forget about it, right? And let us go, everyone to his own country, for her judgment reaching unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky. Revelation. Verse 4. Let's start at 1. It says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having a great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird, kind of desert creatures. Alright, when Babylon is destroyed by way of the missiles, that's all that's going to exist over here. Desert creatures, owls and vultures, things like that. Alright? For all nations, just read it, Jeremiah 51. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Again, those philosophies, right? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That's right. These other nations make buku money, all right, through importing, exporting from where they come from, and importing, different goods over into the Americas. You see, that's how these other nations, get their riches. And because we have the Israelites here, and we're the biggest consumers, right? So we make up majority of the of things, bought here in America. behold, your king shall reign in righteousness, right? Beginning with Yahweh Shai. But hey, also the whole full X started with the 144,000 are going to be kings as well. You know, that's no means are going to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. So whatever Yahweh Shai get, we get. He a king, we kings too. That's also the promise, all right, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we will be a whole nation of kings and priests. You see, we're going to rule and we're going to teach these other nations how to follow Yahweh Shai, you know, the right way. And a prince and princess shall rule in judgment. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. What wind? That nuclear destruction. That wind. Alright? It says, in a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, in the eyes of them that shall not be dim, in the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Jump down. Verse 9, it reads, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. God. You know, listen up and listen good, you know. But again, our women have the mind of Esau, so they're not in the habit of listening. Right? They have a very combative, you know, attitude when it comes to the Israelite men. Right? Why? Because hey, we ain't got the power. We're not ruling. That's what women gravitate to: power, influence, money. You see, it says, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare. And gird sackcloth upon your loins. That's right, basically show some humility. You know, again, something the so-called, especially the NB, like so-called black woman, it's the hardest thing for a woman to do. You know, because Esau taught them that they're equal. You know, so they think they can talk crazy to men, right? And when you got 911 on their side, right, there's never any